Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff. Despite the technical problems, we are here.
Always something, right?
It's always something. So it's either this, it's now this, and with the holidays rapidly approaching, we're 3 days away.
I can't believe it.
From the merriest day of the year. Yeah, I'm not feeling very merry this year.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah, despite that, how have you been? How's your day going?
Freezing. I'm freezing. My thermostat, it's like freaking Arctic weather outside right now.
It went from a nice breezy 50 to 16.
I know. And like my thermostat set to 86 degrees and I still have to have a little heater on. It's freezing here.
Well, let me ask you, can you at least control your heat?
Yeah, I have to put it up to 86 and if you put your hands near my heaters, they're blazing hot. But the apartment just is not warming up.
Because unfortunately, with my living conditions, I can't even turn that damn heat on. So they go blasting at like 100, and I can't turn it off for shit.
Yeah, my mom has the same issue because she has the same heaters like you, those big cast iron ones. And she was gagging the other day because it was so hot.
I mean,
she had her windows open.
My air conditioner's still in the window. I have to put the fan on just to combat it.
Yeah.
So my room doesn't get that hot.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
I mean,
New York City living people.
That is true. I can only imagine what's like in Florida right now. Like, do you think it's the opposite?
Gorgeous. It's like gorgeous right now. They probably got their air conditioners on.
Yeah, Los Angeles too.
I mean, there's a thing in Florida. People, it hits 55 degrees and they're already wearing sweaters and jackets, and they're like, "Oh, it's freezing at 55."
As they're swimming in the ocean.
You know.
I don't know. Despite the weather, we're still here. Despite technical difficulties, we're still here for another episode of History and Headlocks. I'm Mike and the lovely Ariana. I want everybody to leave me alone now. Stop texting me about dinner. This is a week's episode. I think this is pretty much our last one of the year.
Yes, it is.
Not forever, but just for the year. Everybody, don't freak out.
2024. We'll be back.
I know we're so popular, but and people love us. Which I still takes me back, or takes me. I'm fucking on the word, but like when people come up to me and say, "Oh, I watch your podcast or I listen to it," I'm like, "Oh, do you actually? You do? You take your time out of the day to listen to us?"
Yeah, right. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, thank you. And I'm always afraid to ask them, "What do you think? Do you like it?
I know.
Do you not like it?" Because you're kind of wait for the other shoe to drop. Be like, you suck.
I know. I've had people tell me. Yeah. No, I've had people tell me, like, tag me when you post about it so that I'll know. Because, Instagram got me a little shadow banned because of my other posts.
I mean, it's better than the people saying, "I like you, but that other woman, she needs to shush." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, you."
Oh, really?
Don't tell me anything ever again.
Really? They be telling you that about me?
I've had a
I'm
few
gonna talk
people.
more. I'm gonna talk more.
Yeah. And also, I do not realize that I have a problem interrupting people all the time. So, what show are you watching, people? But anyway, if you are here, if you somehow found us, like and subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications on all episodes of ours at the announcer table and everybody else's show on this channel. But today, we'll talk about the most profitable, most popular era of wrestling. Would you care to say? Want to be in agreement with?
I mean, I guess I would say it's definitely the groundbreaking era of what wrestling is today.
Would you say it's golden?
I would say it's golden. Yes.
Yes, we're talking about the golden era, which, if anybody's wondering what the hell does that mean, we're talking about the years from 1985 to 1992.
Yes, my childhood.
What year did you start watching wrestling?
Probably like mid late 80s. If I like 87, 88. Sit down with my brother and watch it when he would watch it.
So right at the start, pretty much.
Pretty much at the start, yeah.
So
Good times.
before the golden era, that was the era where Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Superstar Billy Graham. You didn't see anything of theirs at the time.
If I did, I could have been very young if mom and dad were watching wrestling. But the memories are vague. Like I kind of vaguely remember seeing Bob Backlund when he was young and Bruno, Pedro Morales, but it's super vague. Like I couldn't sit here and be like, "Oh, I remember the match," but no, I couldn't.
Because I think pretty much the transition from when Vince McMahon Sr. was in charge to Vince McMahon Jr., it was, I want to say drastic, because I think once the roster changed, all your favorites, whether they were there, whether you were watching loyally or not, changed overnight. I mean, you know, people from different territories like the Junkyard Dog, Jake the Stick Roberts, Roddy Piper, a lot of these people who, let's be real here, Vince didn't make a star. He stole them from other promotions and poached them.
Right, he bought them out, like always.
Which, I mean, looking back on it now, do you hate that mentality, or do you...
I mean, ultimately, it's up to the wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, people could throw money at you, and you have the right to say, no, I'm good, I'm going to stay loyal to where I'm working. But they all took the money, right? So
that's true.
That's just business. People are gonna go where the money's better.
And it's kind of funny when you think about it that Vince did, well, Triple H pretty much did what Vince did, but in a less scummy way, honestly. Well,
right.
not less, but more of like when he would bring in independent people, they were free agents, weren't slated for a company long term. Where I think, for example, like for Hulk Hogan, his golden goose, he would eventually make him. He was pretty much working every day for, I forget, was it Vergania? I think it was Vergania.
Right. Vergania, AWA, yeah.
And told him, drop him and come to me right away. And that's what he did.
Right. And, the way Vince handled it is the people he would go after would be the stars of the other promotions. And ultimately, it would cost those other promotions their longevity. They would just die off because the fans had no one else to go see. They'd all flock to WWF.
There'd be shows where those said talents were promoted and you would never see them again. Because guess who? Vince McMahon got in their ear and told them to come up, go east, go to Connecticut, come to New York.
Or go north, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about different characters, some storylines going around the golden era. But as far as, like we mentioned before, like the golden era, does that term belong with this era of wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, looking back now, almost 40 years later, it was the golden era. You had these amazing names that helped lift up WWF to be the top promotion in the world. And, it's where the whole sports entertainment started. It's where the true storyline started. Everything started with this era. So, yeah, they're like, It's like, you have the golden girls where you have senior citizens. You call senior citizens the golden age. And you look back now, they're all seniors, right? Or even gone. So like that's, to me, yeah, it's that name fits perfectly.
I guess the most appropriate place to start with is when Vince created the idea of doing a pay-per-view event called WrestleMania. And that's pretty much the success. We talked about it a little bit before, where they brought in a lot of
Yes.
celebrities, Hulk Hogan's involvement, Mr. T's, Cyndi Lauper's.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as going from there on to, once WrestleMania 9 hit, that was when we're getting a changing of the guard. But up till that point, for the first WrestleMania, or I'll say the WrestleManias afterwards, do you think
Mm-hmm.
the expectations lived up to the first WrestleMania?
I would think they exceeded it. You
Like
know.
as like when you're watching it, like from, because you still have the wrestling challenge week to week, I believe,
Right.
right?
At that time, Wrestle Challenge, Superstars of Wrestling, right?
Because I mean,
Yeah.
I guess because without those three, and we also give credit to WrestleMania as well. WrestleMania 1 was better than a lot of people expected.
Right. Yeah, because I'm sure people just thought it was going to be just a regular wrestling house show, kind of, would just be televised, or satellite as they would do back then. And they may not have expected the celebrities to have so much of an impact on the show, because they weren't just there to say, "Hi, I'm here." They actually participated in a lot of the stuff, right? They
Right.
were special guest referees, special guest ring announcers, special managers, interviewing people. So they integrated so well within the show that it made WrestleMania feel more like a spectacle than and less of a wrestling show.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then once we go to WrestleMania 2, that's when uh, it sounds like a weird idea, but three different locations:
Right.
New York, Chicago, and LA, and
Yeah.
they all had to be synchronized at the same time, to where we need to cut to the next thing or get to the next spot. And somehow worked, but didn't work at the same time. And,
Yeah. It's funny that they haven't attempted to do something like that in this day and age,
mm-hmm.
with the way technology is now, where you could just sink in quickly, much more easily, doing a major show in two or three different cities.
Right.
Like, yeah, like back then it felt a little disjointed, right? Because there were issues with satellites or whatnot. But it makes you wonder how it can play off now.
The only example I could think of where it like sort of worked was in TNA. They did a pay per view on the road, and they promoted a Barbed Wire Massacre 2. But the
Mm-hmm.
state that they were doing the pay per view at wouldn't allow said match to happen, so they taped the match in Orlando at the Universal
Oh,
Studios. Like that. That's the only real
yes.
thing close enough I could think of to this.
It kind of like the cinematic matches they do, like the Hardy matches and stuff like that at the Hardy
Yeah.
compound.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but if it was live, like I don't know. I kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually want to see them, somebody do a special event like that where they have a show in one place and then other matches in another, and see how that works.
Yeah. And we're about to talk about. I think that's Andre, right? Yeah. Because
Yeah, Andrea and Bret Hart
it's so weird to see old school Bret Hart without the pink and the black.
wearing the blue. Yeah, when they used to wear blue and different colors.
So when we talk about the
Mm.
roster, like we said, we had Andre at the time, who, uh, looking back at his stuff, I get it. He was the main attraction, but just watching him, like watching his body deteriorate in front of you, it's one of those like sad things to watch. I can only imagine as a kid looking at that and not realizing what's going on with him.
Yeah, I remember clearly. Like, you would see him, and you're like, "My God, he's a monster. He's a beast." And it was scary to see, especially when he would toss people around the hands. You would try to, like, those gigantic hands wrap around people's heads and throats, and you're like, "He's gonna kill him."
Yeah.
As a child, you think, "Oh my God, this is legit. He's gonna break this man's head or his ribs." But I did notice, though. I did notice his deterioration. I saw how
Even
he,
at a young age.
even at a young age, like, I could see him moving slower, and getting bigger, and his features changing more and more. And then that one time, I think it was his last appearance, where he walked out using a walker.
Yeah.
It was so sad. It was very sad to see.
Because around this time, WrestleMania 3, where he goes away, he films The Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
And because with the big idea for the big WrestleMania 3 main event, they advertised for Pontiac Silverdome, which
Right.
at that time for a big company like the WWF, biggest venue they could possibly do,
Yeah.
they do Hogan and Andre.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, you still think about that. Like in 1980, 86, 87, that they were able to fill up that stadium the way they did.
I mean, looking back at the
It's still
build for
very
that,
impressive.
Look at the build, it's like so simple, but like back in the day, it's like it was so revolutionary. It's like you used me, and or you had the manager manipulate the big giant into thinking
Right.
he's not getting what he
His friend.
deserves.
Right. He turned on his friend, his ally. I mean, that's the tale. That's the tale that gets to everyone, because it's the tale of heartbreak, betrayal.
It's always funny to watch that the contract signing and just see Hogan shaking, and then when he screams at Andre, "When you tore the cross off my chest, that's when you broke the hearts of all the Hulkamaniacs." And you're like, so cheesy, but back in the day, that worked.
That moment, I mean, the way he just grabbed it and just ripped it off of him, it's like, oh, it felt like he took the soul away from Hulk Hogan in that moment. Because he was always about saying your prayers and, the character, not the human being, obviously, behind the character. He's a scumbag.
Yeah, those vitamins were definitely different.
But, like, he was always, that character always would preach about that. And he ran with his faith and his, all-American bullshit. But see, yeah, I'll clearly remember seeing him just take it and rip it right off his neck. Like, it was nothing. It's like somebody taking someone's heart out their chest.
And this is where I want to bring up something which I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, but when we talk about, when people bring up the faces of the company, right?
Yeah.
There's always a distinguished look.
Right.
All different types of looks.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's muscles, facial expression, facial features. When you look at Hulk Hogan, he has the body, he has the face, but when you compare him to the other faces like Stone Cold, John Cena, The Rock, didn't it always look like a big old man with the hair?
Yeah. Because he went bald early. Because he was still a young man at the time, right? He was in his 30s, 20s, 30s. But, that era, I guess the era of the 70s and the 80s, the aesthetic, it's, people didn't take care of themselves the way they do now. The skincare that we have now and hair care that we have now and the ability to enhance our features more than they did back then. So everybody always did look like they were at least 10 years older than their actual age. Right.
And I guess it also just shows that Vince cared more about the body size and not really what was really on top of your head. Because, I mean, I remember in the McMahon series on Netflix where they brought up that Dusty was a potential idea to be the face, but and you just look at him and he's not what ideally, like, if you want the big muscular guy, Dusty's not it. No. Hogan is, but the charisma that Dusty had and has back in the day, he could have been perfect, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like history tells us a lot of things where Vince had his decisions, but you knew at the end of the day, Dusty. This could be a debate for everybody. Like, should Dusty have been the face of the WWF back in the day? Like, that type of thing. But
yeah, I mean, we look at Hulk Hogan.
Just look at this. It's like it just shows Vince had a different taste going forward.
He had his vision, and he saw Hulk Hogan. What he saw was the blonde, blue-eyed Adonis. Even though he may have been balding on top, he was still a blonde, blue-eyed man.
Right.
Sounds like someone else. History. Oh my god, I may not go there. But he saw him, he saw the godly body and the eyes and the hair, and he's like, oh, this is the perfect example of what an all-American superhero is supposed to look like. Right.
And I mean, you had other guys on the roster too, like Macho Man, Randy Savage is on the roster as
Complete
well.
opposite, darker look to him.
Smaller physically, but
still in a phenomenal shape.
His muscles were still as big as Hogan's, which is kind of scary looking back now. Where it's like you guys should have calmed down on the drugs, but
yeah,
Macho
Man was he was a good looking man, like without a doubt. His look definitely fit more of the heel persona with sunglasses and the darker hair and the dark beard and the intense eyes that he had, that he could make you think he was a damn lunatic. He was cocky. Yeah. He had just, that his charisma wasn't a humble charisma.
It's interesting because, like you brought up, he's pretty much around this time. There was really no number one heel at the time for the WWF. You had Hogan against his big people, like big people. Like he would face like your King Kong Bunnies, your Akeems, your Big Boss Man, your Andre the Giants, those types of people. Meanwhile, down south, the best heel on the planet is beating everybody in the name of Ric Flair. Like, could there have been a scenario where Ric Flair joined the WWF and been that person against Hogan? I mean, this early on, because we know we get it on later on for so many years, but early,
I know
the earliest example, like, would it have worked back then in like '87?
I don't think it would have worked. Honestly. Like, he would have came in. If people up north were not familiar with Ric Flair at the time, because the regions were very, very distinct at the time, right. And they would have seen this small man, because he was smaller, much smaller, had no true. I mean, not that he didn't have muscle, but he didn't have that physique where he had defined muscles. He had this big blonde mullet, and looked much older than everyone else. He just looked like your average businessman.
Right.
Nobody would have taken this giant, godly man like Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. They would have like, he could just destroy Ric Flair with one clothesline and a leg drop, 1, 2, 3. It wouldn't have come off realistic back then.
But to make a counter argument, I mean, you did have moments where Hogan would go against a guy like Ted DiBiase, the world's richest man, and some people, like, you knew Hogan could beat the shit out of DiBiase, but there was moments where DiBiase would have, like, his character-wise, showed like he was much bigger than everybody else. Like, he had the money to buy off whoever he wanted.
The difference, I would say, with Ted DiBiase is he had a crony. He had Virgil to help cheat.
Right.
To get the wins. Ric Flair never really had that, He either was himself or he was with the Four Horsemen, but, for the most part, his matches, he would cheat to win when he needed to, but like you said, Ted DiBiase had the money to buy people to help him out, to turn on other people. And that's what made him not believable in beating Hulk Hogan, but giving him the capability to beat the face.
I think if you were to bring in the Four Horsemen at the same time, then maybe you could have had something where Hogan would go have a couple months of, he has to go through Arn, has to go through Barry Windham, Tully,
yes,
and then like Flair would be the final boss type
right deal. He'd have the adversity storyline, right?
I mean, like J.J. Dillon would be happy to take a bump for that man. And if there was a female valet, I was gonna say Hogan would not hit a female valet, but
no,
there's been plenty of moments where I've seen Hogan throw a punch at like Shea and she'd take a bump for it.
Yeah, or she'll jump on his back and he'll like toss her off. She'll like land safely onto the mat.
It's always interesting when you look back, because like in the East you had in the East Coast you had Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, all those other big players. And then if you would have mixed them in with a lot of the Southern like basically WCW talent, so many dream matchups that we could have had, like the Midnight Express against the Hart Foundation or the British Bulldogs, like the tag division could have exploded even bigger back then. Yeah,
Rock and Roll Express versus the Rockers.
I mean, we could have had Sting in the early days. I mean, it could have been very interesting.
Sting and Macho Man could have had a great program.
Oh yeah, I mean they were later on. I mean, Lex Luger early on, it'd be interesting because the golden era was not just for one WWF side; it was also the other side too. Because there was actually a competition because a lot of the studio shows or the networks would have to be choosing, okay, do we air the Royal Rumble Survivor Series over Starrcade, and then Vince would bring in the briefcase and say, "You're going to air Survivor Series.
Right.
If you air the other one, we're no longer do the business." It's like, okay,
right.
Okay, sir, we're doing Survivor Series this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people do forget that WCW did have they were having their moment too. Like you mentioned, all those names: Flair, Sting, Luger, Midnight Express. I mean, they were doing their thing also down south.
Right.
They just, like you said, they just didn't have that nationwide exposure unless you had cable.
Right.
Because I don't remember ever seeing WCW on national TV, whereas WWF had their shows on Fox 5 here in New York.
Right.
On the weekends.
And we're talking about the main eventers mostly, but can we really focus on this mid card that the WWF had at the time? Because Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, even. I mean,
yeah.
Ed Leslie, you give him a pair of scissors and he gets over like gangbusters.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he
hated it, but he worked it though.
But meanwhile, he was Hulk Hogan's little bitch.
Right.
For so many years.
To this day.
I remember showing Jay, somebody did a retrospective on Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and he had 5 different Hogan names. It was like Dizzy Hogan, like Eddie Hogan.
Right, because he always played the little brother or the little cousin of Hulk Hogan. Yeah,
Brother Brudai.
But yeah, you had the mid card then was you even had guys like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tito Santana, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Right, Roddy Piper. I forget sometimes.
Roddy was probably one of the greatest mid card, if not the greatest mid card of all time.
And it's sad to look at that mid card and realize that maybe 1 out of the 5 of them were world champion. Because the world title scene was like, I don't want to say bloated, but it was just Hogan, Macho. We're gonna talk
Andre,
about Warrior. We're gonna talk about Warrior in a bit.
Yeah. No, yeah. The world title scene was basically locked down by Hulk Hogan.
Right. Like I said, if King Kong Bundy wasn't beating up a little person, he was on a house show with Hogan, working a steel cage match.
Or Hillbilly Jim, like right here.
Yeah. Good to see Hillbilly Jim still around these days.
And he looks good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I will also say for like the mid card stuff, like a lot of the mid card stuff, I will say, I will be honest with a lot of people, it's not the greatest wrestling matches on earth, except for like the Ricky Steamboats and Macho Mans. But
yeah,
every Duggan match I would watch, it's always DQ with my 2x4 and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, just him thumping on someone's back with his fists and stomping around the ring, screaming "ho!"
Which
clothesline, a body slam, a suplex, maybe. Very simple.
Yeah, which I have to ask, when somebody's watching this live, do you not thinking, why are you not just pinning him? Why are you?
Oh,
like, does that even matter at that point?
It's like logically, you would think just end it already, but they have to put the show on.
win the match.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially back then, because a lot of fans still believed in the reality of what was going on in the ring. They just wanted to see. They would just, they would just fall into the moment, and they were like, beat him up, or whatever the case may be. Like they didn't care if he was going to get the pin. They just wanted to see him beat up the bad guy,
right?
Or see the good guy come back from getting beat up by the bad guy,
right?
So
WrestleMania 3 is a success, as we all know. And then around that time when the mainstream audience started catching their eye even more with Hogan doing a bunch of movies, Roddy Piper doing his own movie thing as well.
Right.
And then we mentioned last episode saying his main event was a thing as well for the mainstream media, for all the laughs and ha-has.
Yeah, and a lot of them were also making appearances on talk shows. Like we were just watching like Kathy Lee and we just filming when they have Rick Rude on the show. He chased Kathy Lee around the studio.
It was so funny because I sent you such an old like Rick Rude entrance clip.
Yes.
What was the song he came out to again?
Smooth Operator by Sade.
Smooth Operator, because I
Perfection.
Right. And then who's his earliest manager? Percy Pringle.
Percy
Fucking
Pringle.
Paul
All
Bear.
Bear with the bleach blonde hair. Yeah.
Because I had a
Wow.
double take. I was like, wait, that's Paul
Yeah.
Bear, right? And with
Yeah.
blonde hair.
Percy Pringle. Yeah, when he had the blonde hair, it did not look good on him at all.
Yeah. Well, because not for nothing, he made his known appearance in the Golden Era, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But a character that really stood out. Like, it's even funny too when you say this character was in the mainstream. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes.
Now, you look up his dark past, his upbringing, which is a nightmare.
Right.
But
Very.
it's a good thing it's a good thing he's still alive with us today. But when you go back into the late '80s, and you see a grown man with a sinister looking face, with a snake carrying a snake in a bag, and the people are cheering him.
Yeah. Yeah, people loved him. I mean, I remember, I don't know if you ever knew about this, Mike, but he appeared on a kids show. There used to be a show called the DJ Cat Show. I don't know if James remembers this himself or if you could pull it up. It was called the DJ Cat Show, and it was this cat puppet that was like a little street thug. And he lived in this little like basement apartment. And Jake the Snake Roberts appeared on the show.
Talking
with
to a cat puppet?
Damien. Talking to a cat puppet who's wearing a little leather jacket. And he brought Damien the snake with him. And I remember watching them like, oh my God, that's Jake the Snake!
I mean, that's one of those random things for the superstars they were doing. I do want to mention. I do want to mention that initially he was never supposed to be a babyface. He was technically supposed to be a heel going against Hogan. Right. But I don't know if you heard this story that at one of the Wrestling Challenge tapings that they did a stick pit, and Hogan was on.
Yeah.
And then they did a thing where Jake blinded him and gave him the DDT, and this was actually in Jersey, and the fans cheered. And then they cheered for Jake as he laid out Hogan. So the whole program went out the window because Hogan and Vince went backstage. No, that's not good. That's not good. They're not supposed to be cheering him. They're supposed to be booing. Right. So then they pretty much turned him, and then you had that awkward Survivor Series team with him, Hogan, and Demolition. And you just have three coked up monsters, and Jake just standing there all calm and cool. Be like, I don't want to be near you three at all. And oh my God.
Oh, there it is. See?
Like the puppet I recognized. I just never didn't think it was this. Oh, Jesus.
DJ Cash Show. I love that show.
And Michael Jackson, Human Nature. Jay's
just randomly in the recommendations. But
I'm sorry. What did you say?
No, I just think with Jake, like he just got over organically because of the fact that he just, he looked like a regular guy, and he just had this way of speaking. That to me is what did it. Like he was good in the ring, obviously, but once he spoke in that mic, he just mesmerized everyone. His promo work was some of the best ever to this day.
Right.
And I think that's really what won a lot of people over is that he sounded intelligent when he spoke. He didn't sound like a freaking goon or, like you said, some coked up maniac screaming into the mic. He spoke calmly, rationally. Like it caught people's eyes and attention and go, man, this man he's something else.
It's interesting when you look back at his career because he would go on, he would feud with DiBiase, Rick Martel. Like a lot of the baddies that would think like DiBiase, for example, his gripe with Jake's gripe with him was like you use money to make fun, like against people that are poorer than you, like you're taking advantage of everybody. Rick Martel, just because you're prettier or have better looks than most people, you want to flaunt in front of them.
I mean, one of his most famous feuds at the time was with Rick Rude because Rick Rude wanted his wife. Straight up, he wanted.
No, because I'm remembering Rick Rude wearing the tights with
her face
Jake's
on
wife on his crotch.
And he's there gyrating and stuff, and she's just like, "Oh God!" He was like pushing his crotch in her face.
Remember the moment? I think he asked like, "Wait, who are you married to?" And then she said Jake, and then he had the realization of, "Oh shit."
Yes, Cheryl Roberts. To this day, she's still with that man too. To this day,
that's insane.
She helped him through it all.
But despite all of that we just mentioned, would you have kept going forward with the Jake being the devious heel and do the Hogan Roberts thing? Because that's one of those what-if questions where, what if Jake had a chance to be the world champion?
He could have got right in terms of if you wanted to put Jake over, yeah, absolutely, keep him as the heel, push him to the moon, and give him that belt. But we know that wasn't going to be the case in reality. Mm-hmm. He was just going to be another person for Hulk Hogan to get the pin on. It just would not. Again, it just probably would not have come off realistic having Jake the Snake Roberts defeat Hulk Hogan.
Because when you look at his overall mainstream career, like in WWF, WCW, even like how in ECW, no belts,
nothing,
never Intercontinental, never a tag, never. It was like one of those things where, did his character really need the belt? Maybe some, if you would have played it right, but also the visual of him. Maybe if he had the title and he would take it out the snake bag and then say, "Oh, you want this, right?" That would have been something.
Yeah, he could have. I could see him clearly being an Intercontinental champion at the most. He could get a snakeskin belt, right? Custom belt, and I think he would have looked fantastic as a champion at some point. It's one of those baffling scenarios where, yeah, and like you said, maybe he just never really needed to be a champion because he just had this aura to him where he was always going to be either beloved or hated.
Mm-hmm. And we mentioned Macho Man. I mean, at least Macho had a moment with the belt for a year, but that was also just to put Hogan over while he was away doing movies. And we can talk about the Mega Power storyline, how that was pretty much, I want to say one of the bigger stories of the golden era.
Definitely.
Because when you think about, everybody jokes about how The Rock and John Cena feuded for a year or a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And twice in a lifetime, like haha on that one. But they were committed on doing a full year story with Macho and Hogan. What was your memories of that? To wait a full year for them to do the blow off.
It was, to me, it's one of probably the best long-term storytelling ever.
Right.
In professional wrestling. Because, you had them, they were kind of like frenemies at first, and then they became true allies. But there was always that one wedge in the middle, which was Macho's obsession with Liz.
It's always a woman, isn't it?
Always a woman. It's always a woman. and him thinking that Macho was lusting after. Literally, that's the words he said. You're lusting after Liz. Mm-hmm. And maybe Hogan was. Who knows? That's for us to determine. Maybe Hogan really was lusting after Liz. Maybe he wanted to save Liz from Macho.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, because he would always come along, and if Liz was in some kind of peril, like when I remember that one scene where she got knocked off the apron, I believe, or someone fell on her, got tossed onto her, and she's got knocked out onto the ground, and who came to save her? It was Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. He picked her up, and he brought her to the back. And then and that was the blow off. That was the moment, obviously. Well, that was the moment that.
I'm also thinking of another question. I think it was when Macho was getting his ass being down by I think it was Jimmy Hart's crew at the time. It was the Hart Foundation and Honky Tonk Man. Everybody that Jimmy Hart was managing at the time. And Liz runs to the back, and I think the announcer's where the hell is she going? Why is she not helping the Macho Man? And she comes dragging Hulk Hogan out, and Hogan's looking to the crowd. Looks to the left, looks to the right. He goes, what should I do?
That was the Saturday Night's Main Event moment when Honky went to hit Macho with the guitar, and the Hart Foundation are holding Macho's arms, and she threw herself in front, as begging and pleading, and then Honky pushed her. And I remember she had the spaghetti strap of her dress broke, and then she ran out the ring oh my god! And that's when she came back, dragging Hulk Hogan. Yeah, trying to hold her dress up, and she's running to the back, and then that's when she comes out, pulling Hogan out with her, begging him, please, please. She's pointing to the ring, and Hogan, like you said, he was what's going on?
He's looking for the people to what should I do, brothers?
To give him the approval. Should I save Macho Man or not, brothers?
And I think you have to remind me or correct me, but was that initially Macho's face turn? Because he did the thing with Ricky, and then I think he that year going into 4 when they had the tournament. Yes. Which, by the way, thank God they never did one-night WrestleMania tournaments ever again. 16 matches, 4 minutes long each.
Garbage.
DQ finishes out the ass.
Garbage.
Because Macho Man really didn't do anything face-wise. I mean, people were starting to get behind him, and he had Liz next to him.
With Liz next to him.
But until Hogan reared his head around, then it was like, oh, like, buddy, and then they do the famous, which is still funny to this day that everybody still does the famous the shake.
That video is amazing. Everybody, like, two coked out friends shaking hands and stuff.
I mean, it's either that or you get it too sweet.
Hey, look who's here.
Oh, hey, guys.
Hi.
What's going on?
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
I'm just sitting here watching and, doing what I do behind the scenes. But there's one thing that you guys, and one aspect of this whole era that you guys are divulging that you're missing, who's been a big part of putting all that together. The one, the only, the $1 Million Man.
Well, we were going to get to him.
Who stirred this whole drink during those eras from the WrestleMania 3 until towards like 5 and 6.
Right.
I would have liked to hear you guys' thoughts about that as well. But other than that, great show, guys. See you later.
Very interesting that our producer, whose microphone's supposed to be off, just turned on. But I mean, because we had pretty much the mega powers, but what were they mega powering about? Because the $1 Million Man bought Andre the Giant.
He bought Andre the Giant. Literally, yes.
I think it was one of those funny things too, where Bobby didn't know that happened, because then I think because this was towards the end of Andre's full-time run,
right?
Because they do the match at SummerSlam, and famously they make Jesse Ventura, which was great to hear on Saturday Night's Main Event, but back then where he was pretty much like, I'm not like Hogan, I'm gonna make sure you lose, and then he gets distracted by Liz's nice ass.
When she took the little skirt off. Yes, that's right. She took the little skirt off her outfit, and she had her little bathing suit on with the little peplum, and you can see how nervous she was, poor thing. She struts across the ring and struts back the other way, and they're all like dumbfounded to see legs.
An arena of grown men like full of estrogen, just seeing that, like going nuts, just seeing Liz take her skirt off.
It's like Arsenio Hall show.
Exactly. Because like you said, I remember watching the clip, and she's like shy, like going across the ring.
She's like holding onto the ropes the whole time, like, oh my god. Oh, I can't even imagine the terror she was going through in that moment. She was
probably counting in her head like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
No, it probably felt like an eternity for her to do that.
But then of course you had Jesse Ventura back in the corner. You're gonna stand up. We're gonna talk. Like, why are you doing this, woman?
Right.
You had like Andre react to like what that? Like what's she doing?
Yeah, because it was just so uncharacteristic of Miss Elizabeth to show off that kind of skin.
Jay had pretty much Jay was in the mindset of those producers from Saturday Night Main Event, just show the ass, or from Survivor Series, show the ass. Yep, there you go. You're working for WWE tomorrow, sir.
Yeah, right. Oh, and then you see the background. Bobby Heenan and Virgil are just like, whoa.
Like, what a woman. Because I mean, this sounds like a crazy question, but was this the closest thing for anybody seeing that on national television?
No, I mean,
like a woman barely naked.
Not really, no. I mean, there was always clips of women in bikinis, the string bikinis of that time, and working out with their little aerobics outfits on TV shows. So no, not really. But in professional wrestling, if she wasn't a wrestler wearing it, yeah.
I also love when they do the storytelling with the Mega Powers Explode, that Randy would show the footage of Hogan putting his hand on her ass. And he'd be like, look how long that hand lasted.
Yes.
Look how long that hand stood there for.
Yes.
I mean, it was like
crazy.
A screenshot.
Just Andre is like, huh? I remember his eyes just bulging out of his head like, holy shit.
Do you think his eyes bulged bigger for that or when the snake came out?
Oh, no. That moment with the snake, he lost his mind.
I mean, because
poor Andre.
So we had like that moment where the Mega Powers exploded. Then let's give Jay credit because he did mention a character that pretty much filled in that Ric Flair role as the top heel, but was always stuck in the mid card. Yeah, I mean, Ted DiBiase. Do you remember the skits where he wanted his own belt?
Yes.
I always love the final one where he walks in the store, vampire cape. It's done. I love the
$1 Million Man. Nice guy too.
It's a funny thing to hear back that he really wasn't supposed to be the $1 Million Man. It was supposed to be like Ric Flair. But he just took on the role as his own.
He made it, and there he goes. Yeah, because she jumped in his arms like, hey, look at her smile. You never saw her smile like that with Macho Man. Come on.
Sadly, in real life either, but that's another story. But that was also a thing too for the Golden Era when they did the vignettes, so like every character doing their own thing.
I've missed that kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't know how you would classify like the Dusty Rhodes ones, where he's the common man picking up the trash like a normal person,
being a mechanic.
I mean,
they were hilarious because he had every job. He had every single blue collar job out there. He had it. And then where did he find the time?
Because poor Cody and Dustin were Dustin. But I mean, Ted DiBiase, when you think about it, utilized it the most because you had the vignettes of him going to the pool and saying,
driving around his Ferrari.
Get out, brats! The pool's mine today.
He bought the pool, or he'd be driving around in his his Ferrari or whatever with some chick in the passenger seat, with Virgil sitting in the back seat.
It's always the funny thing is like when he goes to get his manicure or get his foot popped up. You had Virgil cleaning his toes. He has that face like, oh Jesus, this is disgusting.
You remember when he would have the kids kiss his feet, and RVD was one of the kids when he was.
Yeah, he would challenge them if you could bounce this basketball like 10 times. He was
15 or something. Yeah, he kicked the ball out from under them. Like, oh my god,
shucks.
Was such an amazing evil prick.
I mean, he had his character vignettes. Mr. Perfect as well, him doing all the sports bullshits.
When he tossed the ball and he caught it at the end, like, come on.
And then
it was brilliant, man. They don't do like those are the things that I feel are missing in professional wrestling today.
And it's like it wasn't like the best production quality, but it was just simple. It's just like character walks into frame, says his name, says a couple sentences. And then, then you just go on with the whole thing.
Right. He shows his gimmick.
Today's very upscale. There's background music. There's flashing lights, moving imagery.
Yeah. At least we're kind of seeing a little bit of it in AEW. We've been seeing a little bit of those vignettes, like the Bandito ones recently.
Oh my god! But I will say, I do appreciate how far we've come. But if you would have had, say, like Pentagon Jr., who's about to potentially make his Raw debut, if he would have walking on the screen like, "Hi, I'm Pentagon Jr. and I have zero fear," he'd be like, "No,
cero miedo."
Not with that much enthusiasm, but I just have goodbye. You're like, no.
I mean, they could have done, but they could have done something with him. Maybe just his hand, or just a quick shot of his mask.
He's hiding in a bush.
The zero with the right, like
no, he just sticks his hand out the bush,
and drops it down.
Oh my god! So we have all that. I guess we have to talk about this piece of shit, Ultimate Warrior.
I mean, we can't not talk about him
because he was supposed to be the heir apparent, right? He was supposed to replace Hogan.
Right.
Hogan's 5-year run was over.
Right, he was supposed to be the next big, larger than life character to come in and win the hearts of the fans, which he did.
Yeah, aside from what we know personally about
Jim
Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, what did a young Ari think or about the Ultimate Warrior?
I mean,
was he a man crush?
No, he wasn't a man crush, but I would say that the character did win me over. He was just crazy. He did. He won me over. I mean, how can a kid not look at somebody like the Ultimate Warrior with the big hair and the face paint and the bright colors and just the electricity that he brought with him into the ring? Like, yeah, like it was infectious. Even though he didn't really wrestle that well in the ring, that didn't matter. It didn't matter because it's his persona, how he presented himself. It's like, it was like, you know, and then he would always address the kids like the little warriors, my little warriors, you know, and it just made you feel like, ooh, I'm one of his, you know.
I think that's what it's an interesting point you brought that up, because like, what did Hulk Hogan have? The Hulkamaniacs.
The Hulkamaniacs.
And Warrior have the Little Warriors.
Right.
No other person on the roster I could remember. It's like, there's no Hacksaw Duggan be like, my little 2x4s. Like
my little 2x4.
like no nonsense like that he was spewing.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Because it's like, you know, when a wrestler does that, connects with the fans in that way, that's what draws people in. Like you feel like, oh, he's talking to me or she's talking to me. I'm part of his gang, you know, whatever. When you're a kid, that's how you feel.
This sounds so wrong, but it's not like Bret Hart came out, my little heart attacks, like that wasn't happening, like nothing.
My little hit babies.
My little hit men.
My little hit kids. But Bret did have the sunglasses that he would give away every time.
Yeah, but that was even still when he was at a tag team, he was doing that. But
I always wanted to be that kid.
I mean, but then you want to be the heel that goes up to the kid and just takes it. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So when you had the Warrior come around, I mean, the obvious, not obvious, but Rick Rude, who I don't think personally liked him either, but gave him the best matches of his life, and there he went from Intercontinental title status to World Champion in Toronto.
Yes, WrestleMania 6.
As a fan, is it weird to see good guy versus good guy?
It was because it's like, who do you cheer for? Who do you back up in this? And ultimately, I feel like a lot of the fans did ultimately realize that it was going to be the Ultimate Warrior, that he was the next in line. So they did rally behind him in the match. Not to say that they were completely turning on Hulk Hogan. They didn't. It's just that they knew in that moment that Hulk Hogan, it was his time, and we had to get behind him.
When you look back, like what started it all? It's the famous Royal Rumble stare down with them two, with the two ships passing in the night, oh my God, they're staring at each other. And the best is they do the crisscross spot, and the fans went,
wait a minute.
Wait, what are they doing?
Yeah, it was like a crisis of in a moment. Like, who do we cheer for? What's going on? We love them both.
They have these two big men, and you want them just like start punching each other, start running across. They do the crisscross. Hogan does the drop down. Warrior jumps over, and then reverse, and then the double close, and then the fans go nuts. Like something so simple and stupid looking.
Great. It is because. Like, neither one of them can really, I mean, no. Hulk Hogan could wrestle because we've seen his work in Japan and he did some pretty impressive stuff out there. But in American standards, he had to dumb it down. Who knows? Maybe Ultimate Warrior could have done the same thing too, for all we know. But their Mania match is still one of the greatest matches that you would ever see because of the energy behind it. They may not have been doing crazy moves in the match, but it's just, like you said, it's the two faces, these two beloved men, and the drama behind it is what made the match so spectacular.
And I can imagine all the kids around the world like, don't fight each other, fight the bad people. Why are you fighting each other for?
Exactly. Like, why? Why do they have to wrestle each other? Like, no, I don't want to pick one over the other. Like, yeah, definitely. Even some adults, I'm sure.
So then Warriors, I'm gonna say for like a year and a half gets the torch, or not even maybe a year.
Yeah.
Because he lost it at the Rumble to Sergeant Slaughter, which we'll bring that up because I want to ask you what was your thoughts on that storyline as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the Warrior, can you talk about his just promos? Did you ever understand a word he mentioned? He said
no.
I think to this day, a lot of people are still translating what the hell he said. I mean, like load the spaceship with the rocket fuel, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. And you know what it is though? Back then, it didn't matter what the hell he was saying. because he was just there talking and doing his whole mannerisms and his craziness. That's what the kids liked. The kids just liked him being outlandish, cartoony. He was a living, breathing, walking cartoon.
There was one promo where Warrior cut. It was a SummerSlam main event with Rude, and they're in Philadelphia, and he goes to the G and he goes, "What does Bobby Heenan and the Liberty Bell have in common?" Or no, what does Bobby Heenan and Rick Rude have in common with the Liberty Bell? I forget. It was something like said it, but the whole punchline was, one's a national monument and the other two's a ding dong.
Right.
And then he looked at Mean Gene and he's like he's like, and then he snarls and scares him like
smiling odd. or that promo for the Survivor Series where he tied up the Rockers and everyone else.
Well, he's pulling up Jim Neidhart's beard.
That was so weird. He just tied them up. You see Shawn Michaels is getting choked up in the whatever he was using. I think he was using his tape, right? His wrist tape.
His tassels. Trying to cut a promo, and Warrior's like, come on, maniacs! Just trying to choke the poor bastard.
And they're like, it was like, what? What was the purpose of that? Like,
I mean, we talked about earlier, like how the world title scene was very small, very limited. I mean, Soldier Slaughter somehow got a world title reign out of it, but can we talk about why he got a title run out of it? Because Vince had the idea of turning him into an Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It was the weirdest. It was just the weirdest concept. Because for me growing up seeing Sergeant Slaughter, he wasn't just a wrestler; he was a GI Joe.
Literally, sometimes
he was a GI Joe.
Yeah.
He was an all-American hero. Like that's in the song. He was an all-American hero. So it just felt weird. Suddenly he's there and he's being portrayed as a stereotypical evil villain.
Yeah.
And for me, on a personal level, being of Middle Eastern descent as well as Hispanic, I never liked how Arabs were portrayed anywhere as evil. Because it's not the truth.
Right.
And to bring him in with Adnan, General Adnan, right? And Iron Sheik was pulled in with some new name. It just it came off so disingenuous, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you think they tried to be goofy with it but took it more serious?
They were trying to be more serious with it.
But was the intent was it supposed to be goofy, though?
I don't think it was supposed to be goofy. No, I think it was supposed to be a serious storyline where our hero, Sergeant Slaughter, has now turned his back. He's a turncoat to the United States of America. He has joined forces with Iraq, who was now our enemy of war. And it was supposed to be a very serious storyline. It just looked goofy because it's Sergeant Slaughter.
It's him, yeah. And he has, in the way he cuts his promos, the way he acts. I mean, because it's Sergeant Slaughter, but just turns heel, and he has a new hero in his life, and that's Saddam Hussein.
Right, because it wasn't like when we had the Bolsheviks, right? We had the Bolsheviks back in the 80s as well with Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov, where, they were the Soviet enemy of ours, but they were so goofy, especially Nikolai.
Even guys like the Iron Sheik, like, you had those heels that would play the anti-American, but at the end of the day, they would lose, and the American fans would be like, "Yay, we got the big win in this stupid little match." But despite world problems, we win.
Right.
When you have Sergeant Slaughter coming out there, I mean, there was a Survivor Series where he was the lone survivor. He beat four people in a row.
Yeah.
And then the segments where he got the pointy boots. He goes, "This is a present from Saddam Hussein for all my goodwill."
He calls him Saddam Hussein or something. I'm like, dude.
But that's when I asked, is this supposed to be a parody or supposed to be goofy? Because just saying that, and deep down you're like, this is I'm just gonna get a big boo for this.
I mean, he may not have. It may. I still think it was supposed to be a legit, serious storyline for him to get that massive heat on him to make him the biggest heel. I mean, but yeah, he is the one that made it come off goofy because of who he was, his personality, the way like you said, the way he presented his promo work and whatnot. It just came off campy.
And meanwhile, they're doing this, and there's like steroid trials, big accusations. And I asked you if you had any memories of that, but you have.
Right.
So we're not going to acknowledge it. But it's like controversy. Like WWF, you wanted them to try and stay away from controversy, but they just couldn't help themselves.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember the steroid, because there were other things before that have come to light that I didn't know was happening. But the steroid trial would be probably the first major mainstream media moment that we saw WWF in a negative light. Besides, right. Wrestling's fake, you know?
Because I want to ask you this, because that WrestleMania 6, no, that WrestleMania 7, Los Angeles, they're supposed to be in the big football stadium, but they moved to the small arena.
Yeah.
Do you believe it was due to threats that a bomb was going to happen? Like they're threatening bombs. Those bomb threats.
They were bomb
related
threats,
to Sergeant Slaughter's character.
Damn, that's a good question, because that could have all just been a storyline that they made up because they couldn't fill in
poor ticket sales.
Poor ticket sales, right? Or they, the venue pulled out on them.
Because your main event is Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter. Like, do you really want to sit down and watch that main event?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's actually a good point you just brought up.
Because they gave him the world title.
They did?
Granted, like 3 months, and then Sergeant Slaughter famously told in an interview where they wanted to burn the American flag, and then he said, "No, let's burn Hogan's T-shirt I remember that in the promo that
they
represents America."
And they burnt it. Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be an American flag.
Yeah, that would have been too much.
It's like, I bring this up because I know what your stance is and what you use your social media platform for. But
yes,
there was a point in the match where, because it's always a dangerous territory when you involve other countries' flags. I mean, famous story in Germany that they were doing the national anthem, and the Miz interrupted the national anthem, and Finlay got fired for it because he thought it was a good idea to get heel heat, but the country was pissed off. Or Jericho kicking a flag, he's threatened with detainment. Here, 1990, now we're around 89, 90?
91, yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter covers Hogan with the Iraqi flag. 1, 2, kick out. Hogan's bleeding, and he's wiping his face with the Iraqi flag. He rips it in half. Like so many crimes.
Committed, yes.
For granted, it's a storyline.
For heat.
In that moment, you look at that, if you're a Palestinian or like somebody that lives in that country, and you're looking at your flag being mistreated, it's like,
right. Oh, it's insulting. It's absolutely insulting. It's easy for somebody who is born here, never have any kind of connection to those countries or that culture, to laugh it off. But it's insulting, especially if you're a fan of something of WWF and you see them desecrating your flag, your culture, and not just that, in any situation, because we've seen a lot of desecration of many cultures in wrestling over the decades, right? It is insulting. It is, and you still keep watching.
Right, but there's still entertainment. Like when Hogan's doing like a big hot tour on the flag, and you're supposed to be like, "Yay!"
Oh yeah, or wiping his ass with it, Yeah, I mean, obviously, in this day and age, that won't fly. No. Something like that happens, and they're gonna get canceled real quick.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the end of WrestleMania. In the middle of WrestleMania, we had the best moment in wrestling history.
Yes.
Warrior and Macho King, I should say.
The retirement match.
The match where they both agreed we can't be in the same company at the same time. One of us has to go.
Yes.
Macho Man loses. Shea beats him. Is like berating him. Liz comes to save again.
She was in the audience with her sparkly outfit on.
I think she was missing a year at that point. Like she hadn't shown up.
About a year. And they're like, "Oh my God, is that Miss Elizabeth sitting here?" And everybody was just shocked to see her sitting there watching. And you see her like, as they keep panning to her, but when she's in the audience, like you see her like getting upset and tears about it. And then when he lost, and then Sherry attacks the shit out of Macho, beat the crap out of him.
Try to poke his eyes out with her.
Kicks him in the ribs. Yes, kicks him in the ribs. And then here comes Liz.
little
stand by your man.
5 foot nothing.
I know.
Pushes her
100 pounds. Throws her out the ring by her hair. There it is. She threw her out. She yanked her by her wig.
You know what? I'm wrong because they actually they look like the same
all
height.
In high heels.
So you know what?
All in high heels.
Yeah. And then they hug. All the women and children are crying in the crowd, and even Bobby's like, and you hear Bobby like, "I'm not crying. You're crying, girl.
I'm not crying. You're crying." Yet, but the moment wasn't just a hug. It was that moment where he saw her, and she's standing there, and he's like in disbelief that she's standing in the ring. Like, where have you been? Yeah.
I love that moment too. He
thought it was getting attacked.
He's like, who's that?
And she screams. She went, ah, like that. I remember this so like every second. I remember this so clearly. It was such a beautiful moment. And then the arms open, and she jumps into his arms. Oh, making me misty-eyed here.
and the best part about it is that you'd have to wait for the second part of this whole magical moment in the summer when they have the famous wedding.
The wedding from hell.
Well, at first it wasn't a wedding from hell. It was supposed to be
a match made in heaven.
Yeah. I don't have to ask as a kid. Was that the first time you saw like the idea of a wrestling wedding? Like we're stopping the wrestling show now. We're having a real wedding.
And they made, I mean, they had that other wedding one time on Saturday Night's Main Event with one of the hillbillies.
Uncle something.
Uncle, what was it? Uncle Elmer or something like that?
Elmer.
But that was whatever. It was a backstage segment, basically. Right. But this was like, they made it the main event of the show.
This was ending the pay-per-view. You had Hogan, you had Hogan Warrior, and by the way, that would be Warrior's last appearance for a while. We might mention that when we talk about the end of the Golden Era.
Yeah.
And I get a new face and Sid standing there, be like, "Oh, you want me to be a Hulkamaniac?" And like, no, he's still going. He's doing the poses, but that another thing. But just
Sid Justice,
the wedding. So they do the wedding on TV, and then they do the best part on VHS, DVD, or no, not DVD,
right?
VHS afterwards.
Reception. Yeah, because the wedding was beautiful. It ended with them kissing, and it was like happy ending. Everyone's in tears.
And it's a funny thing because they always say that Vince wanted his like cake and eat it because like they wanted the wedding to be the good, nice thing for everybody to see on TV, but he wanted his angle at the end. Because around this time too, like we talked about Jake Roberts earlier, like was he better off as a heel?
Right.
He turned heel when Earthquake squished Damien, and he went a little nuts.
He went right. He went dark after that.
And then the Warrior was also feuding with the new Undertaker character.
Yes.
That was walking around as a dead zombie. And Warrior wanted to take a walk on the dark side, so he went to the Snake Man. And Jake put him through trials where bury yourself, and he buried himself.
Oh my God, those segments were wild.
Went to the tomb, face your fears. It's a room of snakes. Yes. And I always love the camera angle because he opens the box and just pops out a cobra, King Cobra.
Yeah, wow, like that.
But it just looks so awkward because it's just like a stand.
And Warrior jumps back.
He went by the door. He's like, "Okay, Snake Man, open the door." Then he barges the door, makes the door open, and then you had that weird. I don't want to say weird reveal because I think a lot of people didn't understand it at first. Because you had Paul Bearer and Taker stand over there. And then standing over him, and Jake's like, "Take my hand."
Yes.
Snakes don't have hands. Like I had that. Like,
and then he fades to black.
Line, and then you just hear evil laughter.
Yes.
Because then you had this interesting alliance of Jake the Snake and Undertaker and Paul Bearer.
Right.
The legit holy trinity.
Yes, but it worked. To me, it worked.
Because then I would talk about the wedding reception. The stupid Cobra pops out kind of a present.
Right, yeah. They're there. They're celebrating. They're dancing. Everyone's having a great time eating cake. And then they go to open the gifts and out comes this Cobra.
The best before that was that it was like Macho opened a gift. He goes, "Oh, cool, a blender. I got a blender."
Yeah, it was cute. It was a cute, wholesome moment. And, you're buying into the wholesomeness of, oh, look at them. They're so happy. And then, bam, out comes this Cobra and everyone's crying and losing their shit.
And thinking about it now, they had a lot of moments where they told Liz, scream and jump backwards.
Yes.
And you had Macho Man be like, at first he didn't realize what the hell happened. And then she's jumping into him. He's like, what the hell? And then you have Jake and Undertaker crash the wedding reception, start punching them, beating them up. Sid Justice comes in for the save to stop them.
Yes, it was.
And then the man that's supposed to be gone from the company is now back in as a commentator, but he wants his revenge.
Right.
Then we get the wrestling challenge. Standoff. He gets Macho stuck in the ropes.
And takes out the snake.
Now, the story has been told, but do you remember the story of the day of?
Clearly.
Where Macho Man kept going up to him, he's not poisonous, right? He's not poisonous. And
yes.
For fuck's sake, he's not poisonous.
Let him bite you.
You're all good. And he had him bite him, but then at that moment, Jake said, you know what? Screw this. Punching the snake. So when he came out later,
he was vicious.
He was very angry.
He was. I remember clearly when he pulled the snake out and the way he was just like doing that towards Macho. Oh my! That freaked me out. Seeing that legit freaked me out. I was 10 years old, and I was like, "Oh my god, the snake is biting Macho Man!" And you could see the teeth sinking in. You see the blood coming out. Like it wasn't fake. It was really him biting. The snake's really biting him, and I just was freaking out. Like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Because that's one of those
how
rare.
Would they do it? You know, like it's gonna die.
There's one of those weird things where they're doing it in front of an audience and. The crowds, I think what they wanted was boos, but it was a lot more screams, kids crying.
Yeah, it was.
This was closer to the fact of them pulling the curtain back all the way back and saying, you know what, give us real reactions.
Something real, yeah.
And it was kids crying.
Kids crying, people like you said, women probably yelling, even men screaming in terror.
I love how the video for this is they make it so darker than it was.
It's just you could just see like the way he was pumping his jaws into his arm. It was oh my god, terrifying. It was terrifying.
I think the term was like he was unhinging his jaw because it looked like he was trying to like fully take his arm off.
Yeah, he was just trying to devour his whole bicep.
And meanwhile, that's like the venom's going through his body. Because that's when like they let go, and then Macho's like writhing on the ground, like shake. And granted,
Macho Man he really was in pain because that shit hurt.
Now, granted, with the story that we know about that day, it would have been funny if like you're like shit, and then Macho Man gets up, just slaps Jake. Like what the fuck was that? In front of people?
Think even if he wanted to, I don't think he could. I think he was in such legit pain. Can you imagine a cobra, even if he's not venomous, stinking those big gigantic fangs into your arm?
Ooh. I mean, that just shows the professionalism, but just also a good lizard, like and like tears, consoling them. And would you imagine for the people that are watching this that it could go one step further?
Right.
Do you remember Jake slapping her?
Yes. He grabbed her by her hair and just pops her in the face, and she drops down, and she's holding. I was like, "What the hell's going on? Like, leave her alone!" Like, yeah, that was. I think that was because we would see Sherry get tossed around, but Sherry was Sherry. Sherry was Sherry. Like, she was tougher than most men. She was one of the boys. You could see she was tougher than most of the men out there because she would fight back.
That's why I mentioned the Hogan thing earlier when I said like he was such an American hero. I mean, like he's beating up women for no like evil women, but just the moment where like you said like because Jake gave Macho like 3 DDTs and he's screaming at Liz. It's like scream for your man, bitch! Like scream like beg for him for me to stop.
I know he was,
and they grabs her, brings her to the middle of the ring, and it's always funny looking back. He does a big stomp with his boot in the middle of the ring for the big slap.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, it's like
he just like pushed her face.
Doesn't even touch your face. And she's like, oh.
She collapses and she's just holding her face. My heart broke for her though. I was like, what are you doing? That's Miss Elizabeth. Like, come on. Like, she's an angel.
And that's one of those moments where you want the commentator to be like so like quiet, like silent.
Right.
Bobby's like, she should have stayed home in the kitchen.
I know, freaking Bobby Heenan guy.
If she knew her place, she would have stayed behind the guardrail.
She would have stayed by. Like of course, Bobby had to be the one to say some stupid shit.
just have grown up like, will you please stop?
I know. And that Bobby Heenan.
And it's like, and you think I bring up this whole storyline because it was one of those storylines towards the end of the Golden Era where it's like, how did this not main event that year's WrestleMania?
Right.
Or at least give Jake the belt for at least a few months.
You're absolutely correct. You would have thought that would have skyrocketed him to that main event level, like just being so cold-hearted and evil. Like that's the epitome of a heel right there. Everything he did. Oh.
Because then Ric Flair comes in. At the same time, Ric Flair's here and he brings the big gold with him. I mean,
the fake big gold belt.
Well, no, it was actually the real belt. It's
originally
he paid for.
Originally,
because there's some video footage. I hope Jay finds it, but it's where they legally, or they said legally, we can't show the other company's belt. Right. So what they did was Flair would hold one half of the tag belts.
The tag team belts, yeah, and they would censor it. But there were some moments where the censorship, the black blob, just didn't move fast enough, and you would see it.
You're like, oh, what the hell?
Like, well, that's not it.
Because if you're thinking about it, that year's WrestleMania should have been Hogan and Flair title. Like, who's the real world's champion? Because that's
title
what they're building
title,
to,
right?
And then Macho and Jake,
right?
The biggest blood feud on the company at the time. But no,
yeah,
Jake's fighting the Undertaker because Undertaker now has a heart. He feels bad for.
Yeah, now the Undertaker's. Yeah,
he's a good guy.
He's a good guy now, but that's because fans were loving him so much.
Randy Savage goes for the world title against Ric Flair, which is still a good match, but and that was one of those weird storylines too, where Flair was like, "She was mine before yours," and then doing those Photoshop BS pictures,
a fake photo shoot.
Here's us on a picnic. Here's me and Liz and a horse.
Yes, and they were all fake photos. It was the perfect hanging out.
And then they tease Hogan going away. He's retiring. He's done it all, brother.
Yes, he's done it all.
He's 4-time world champion at the time, and his final opponent, Sid Justice. Now, Sid passed away this year, and he's one of the people I think I would love to do an episode on because his career is very interesting.
Yes, it is.
As a young fan, what was your overall thoughts? Because I mean, first thing that comes to mind when I see him is Frankenstein's monster. Yeah,
I didn't really like him. I thought obviously he was very, very ominous looking.
Yeah.
You know, he was just large man with this very mean stone serious face, right? Like it was hard as a kid to try to rally behind him, even when he was the face. I couldn't rally behind him.
Yeah, he had that weird look. I mean, him as a babyface at first never really worked because he was awkward.
No.
But then once
because he just doesn't look like a face. Look at him. He looks like the mean guy that would beat somebody up in a back alley, you know?
And then once he turns heel, he starts teasing the Psycho Sid thing.
Yes.
Because the Royal Rumble, I think overall that's probably the best Royal Rumble in 1992.
1992.
Where Flair wins it. Where
yes.
You had Bobby Heenan on commentary the whole night selling it. He's like, this ain't fair to Flair. This ain't fair to Flair. And Flair comes out and wins it. And then you do Hogan and Sid, which sorry, but I will have to ask this, but they're teasing Hogan's going away. Mm-hmm. Did you believe that at all?
That he was going away?
Like, did you watching the product? Did you think, oh, this is like his final match?
Not really, no. I didn't believe it.
Because he did the interview with Vince and talk about thank you for everything and like just have fun at WrestleMania and be like, have fun. He's having a match with the Giant that wants to kill him.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I didn't believe that was going to be his final. Come on, please. Even back then, I was like, come on.
Because spoiler, that wasn't his last match.
Not even close.
That was not the end of his run.
Not at all.
They do the match. Papa Shango, better known as the Godfather, botches the finish. That's WrestleMania goes off with a fart. Or no, I'm sorry. The Ultimate Warrior makes the save.
Right.
But then that's where I'm pretty much leading to the end of the Golden Era. Because then,
yes, it was.
Because you had your stars like Roddy Piper going away, Hulk Hogan going away, Warrior going away. And I want to mention, 2 out of the 3 went off to do more movies. The other one was just a politic asshole.
Yes, exactly.
But then you're ushering in a new generation, which we will cover in a future episode, where like later, like earlier in that show, you had Bret Hart win the Intercontinental title for I think a second time, and now he's the leader of the new generation. Shawn Michaels throws Marty
coming up,
as Bobby Heenan famously said, Marty Jannetty flew through a window.
Flew through a window.
He tried to escape.
Barbershop window, right?
Yeah. And Shawn Michaels is now on the rise. The Undertaker's here. What's his goals going forward? I mean,
he was just starting out. He was still literally fleshing out the character of the Undertaker at that point.
I mean, as a fan, I have to ask, like, was there still enjoyment? Was there hype going forward when the big names were starting to leave?
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, after a while, those big names of the 80s were becoming stale. They were becoming old. And as a kid, I was getting older at this point. And I absolutely loved Bret Hart. I loved Shawn Michaels. Maybe that was just the girl in me, seeing these two great-looking men. They look different than Hulk Hogan. They look different than Macho Man. They looked, well, not so much Macho, but you know what I mean? Like, they looked aesthetically more pleasing for me and for a lot of the fans because they look more normal. And we're used to seeing two average, just over average sized men putting on these matches that were completely different than what we've ever seen before. They weren't just picking things up and putting them down. They were doing technical moves in the ring. They were doing all these great submission holds and entertaining the hell out of everybody. It was refreshing to see.
Right.
You know, it was just so refreshing to see and seeing these people who you thought would be stuck as a tag team wrestler for the rest of their career level up and really take the bull by the horns, and they went with it all the way.
It's so funny. Marty's flying through a window, but no, Shawn famously through him because like because we all know in wrestling the new generation there has to be a new crop of guys
right
on the coming up. I mean, look at today's wrestling. Like guys like Priest, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, a lot of those guys who are now taking the next step to be in the main event. Because eventually, guys like your Codys, your Romans, your Drews, your Cenas for this year.
Yeah, they're going to slow down.
They're all going to go away.
Right.
But I think back in for the Golden Era, I don't think they were ready for it. Because I think a lot of the town had bigger ideas, like grander postures to go towards. Mm-hmm. But then they had those weird, like, you still had some old, like nostalgia acts. Like Tito Santana was still around. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was around for a little bit. Right. Because then we're going to cover when we do the new generation. Man. Yeah, Million Dollar Man was around, but he wasn't in the main event scene. He was teaming with IRS the Tax
IRS, right.
as a tag team.
I like that tag team. I thought it was brilliant.
I mean, Bruce Beefcake was around for a little. Like towards the end.
He was fading out already at that point. Yeah, you weren't really seeing Brutus that much.
But by the time WrestleMania 9 came around and Caesar's Palace, or famously, it looks like Caesar's parking lot.
God, the worst. I mean, it was the parking lot. It was. I passed by Caesars in Vegas. That was just a freaking lot. We weren't inside.
And this is not really the new generation, but this is still golden era and transitioning to that.
Transitioning, yeah.
Because then I think we know how dominant the bloodline is today with all the Samoans and the dynasty. Mm-hmm. Yokozuna. I mean, right. I gotta imagine like a big. He's from the far east of Asia,
right?
Meanwhile, the fucker's screaming "Bonsai," but it's like saying shit in Samoan, and you're like,
right.
First impression, like, what was your thoughts seeing? Because we've seen big fat dudes, but nothing like him.
Yoko. I mean, he was very impressive to see, though, because he, like you said, we've seen big guys before, but this is a guy that was actually doing some moves that you would never see a big guy do. Like, he was throwing super kicks like nothing. Right. Lifting that gigantic leg up in the air and running. He would run the ring sometimes and throw people around in doing Samoan drops on them. And you're like, oh my God, he just killed this guy. Like, he was like so aggressive in the ring.
It was always funny when he did the leg drop, because then you have commentary be like, "Oh, like I've seen that leg drop before," and you're like, "Oh no, here we go." Like the man just said he was leaving, and now you're teasing he's coming back.
Exactly, and the writings was on the wall, because that was the perfect adversary for Hulk Hogan. This big giant guy, can he pick him up? Can he body slam him?
I mean, it's like,
we saw it coming.
And we saw them try with a lot of different characters. I mean, Crush, from Hawaii.
I loved Crush. He was so underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah. We'll talk about later on in the new generation, but I just want to cover to end this where when the golden era should have ended, it should have ended at WrestleMania 8. But 9 was pretty much the remnants of it, because you had Hogan come back again, but he was in a tag team title match with Money Inc. teaming with Brutus Beefcase.
Right. He had
which, by the way, the story of Beefcake getting his face exploded off
from the boat. Yeah.
The boat, and then Hogan having a black eye at the same time because apparently Macho Man punched him, knocked him out.
Like, what the hell was going on? WrestleMania was so trash. Was.
Around that time, that's like, I also debate, do you even give Bret the title even then?
No. I think he had earned it at that point. It's the way he lost it. That was.
I agree.
How do you screw this man so many times? Yeah.
I mean,
no, seriously.
I think, for me personally, you get rid of the first option of, like, I get it. It's a moment. Have Bret beat Ric Flair, because then Ric Flair goes.
And they did it on a house show.
On a taping, on a Wrestling Challenge taping.
Right.
And even to this day,
it wasn't even on a live show. It wasn't even on a pay-per-view.
It's funny because both men said that was the worst match they ever had in their careers.
And it was still a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, I did think he, I mean, maybe I'm being biased again, but I do feel he was ready at that point to have his first title run.
Right.
I just felt like the way at WrestleMania 9 he loses it to Yokozuna. Okay, fine. He lost it to Yokozuna. Believable.
He gets blinded by powder or rice.
The salt.
Rice. Yeah, salt.
Rice salts that Mr. Fuji would always carry. I love Mr. Fuji too.
and then look who's out to save.
And then look. Right, and then look who comes out.
His best buddy. his best friend. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk fucking Hogan comes in and somehow gets the impromptu match and wins the damn belt.
Blame Mr. Fuji. I challenge you to championship match.
You're like, come on, man.
And then you have Hogan go to Bret. Should I do it? And Bret's like, get me water. Oh, I'll go get the belt.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay, great.
No, get me water. I'm blind. I can't see.
Honestly, I was so disappointed seeing that play out.
And that's why I just want to mention that, because that was pretty much the sour note on the golden era. Because when you're trying to do a new in crop of the guys that are coming up, you went backwards.
Exactly. Like, at this point, let Yokozuna have his run. You want to build him up as this massive heel, this monster heel. Let him have his run. Then he could face Hogan at like SummerSlam or some crap. Why would you give this man... First of all, having defeat Bret Hart, who was coming up in a shocking loss to Yokozuna. Cool, fine. Then you take it away from him in 3 minutes to give it back to freaking Hulk Hogan, who was supposed to be gone?
This is where I'm going to put the pin in this conversation for now, because when we do a eventual episode on the new generation, we're going to talk about Bret. We're going to talk about Yoko. Yeah, we're going to talk about the rise of other people too, like Bret's little brother Owen.
Oh yeah,
Shawn Michaels is still on the rise. Razor Ramon just debuted as well. I mean, a lot of new things. Big Daddy Cool Diesel, a lot of things. Doink the Clown too.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting characters that came around in the new generation. Even Jerry the King Lawler came around at this time.
Right.
And that was new.
Yeah. Absolutely. For WWF casual fans, it was new.
Depending on that.
That's going to be a great episode.
to close out on this one before we get into This Week in Wrestling. Highs, lows through the golden era of WWF. Overall,
I'll definitely say the highs would definitely be like the Mega Powers.
Right, but does it still stand the test of time looking back at it, even like, as you get older?
Absolutely it does. Because, it holds its own. It stood on its own. Like I said in the beginning, that was the start of wrestling as we know it today, which is sports entertainment, right? It ushered in that era of storytelling, a spectacle, the colors, the looks. It was no longer just two big dudes dumping it out in a dark arena with smoke filled all over the place. It was an actual show, So yeah, it definitely still stands on its own. Absolutely.
And Mount Rushmore. Give it to me.
Wow. Well, I mean, I gotta be objective about it. So Hogan, Macho.
I agree with both of those.
Andre.
Okay.
And Warrior.
You know what else? I'm gonna agree with you. I think those four, in different ways, set the standard for wrestling at the time.
Yes.
I think if we were to say like lower tier as well, it'd be like Jake, DiBiase.
Oh yeah.
Perfect and Rude, like those four guys.
Those four, absolutely.
And Piper gets a special mention too.
Piper stands on his own.
Honestly, yeah. A lot of people also say like Andre's on his own, stands alone as well because like that was like towards the later. But I agree definitely. With you.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, you could even interchange Andre with Roddy if you want to.
Right.
And
now it's time for This Week in Wrestling History.
Yeah, let's do it.
God only knows what we're going to find in this.
Let's pull it up. I already saw one.
You want to cover the first one?
This Week in Wrestling History.
You have it?
Hold on, scroll up. Okay. You want to take it or you want me to do it?
Ladies first.
So this week in wrestling history, on December 18th, 1995, mere days after being let go by WWE, Medusa, or known as Alundra Blaze, made her return to WCW on Monday Nitro. The return went down in wrestling history as it saw Medusa, still in possession of the WWF Women's Championship, dump the title belt in a trash can on live TV. An unparalleled act of disrespect in wrestling. Medusa was later inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes. Just the idea of, I mean, Vince releasing the women's champion. I mean, are we really shocked by that notion?
No. No. I don't know. I mean, I do remember her popping up, holding the garbage can, and dumping the belt like that. It's like that. I remember that. And
I remember the story is also that apparently Bischoff told her to do it, and she didn't want to.
Yeah. She, but what's funny? Like when you hear about it, WWF didn't care she did it because they were done with her. They didn't let her keep the belt. They're like, "It's yours. Take it. We don't care." They just wanted to wash their hands of women's wrestling, I guess, at that point. Okay.
So I mean.
So apparently WWF just didn't care that she dumped the belt on national TV. They felt that it was just for her. Do what you want with it.
It's always fun looking back, is just to see like how small the belt actually was. Like it was like one of those like foam toys that
you buy for your
kids now. It
was a very petite little belt, yeah, very feminine little belt, pink with the pink strap and everything, yeah.
I think also too. I remember like when they kept like when she walked away, you had like Manga like about to pull it back out, and Eric's like, "Keep it in there. That's where it belongs." It's like, oh,
right, yeah. I think the fans made more of it. You know what I mean? Like the fans made more of it than and WCW, obviously, because it was. Oh, I'm sorry, it was their idea to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that they were gonna get over on WWE during that time, which it did work. It did work for the fans. It did work. Yeah.
All right. Next up, This Week in Wrestling History in the year 2010, ROH's final battle took place at the Manhattan Center in New York City. On the card, Roderick Strong defeated Davey Richards to win the ROH World Title, In the main event, El Generico defeated Kevin Steen in a fight without honor. The loss meant Steen was banished from Ring of Honor if Generico would have had to unmask if he lost.
I wonder why he was banned.
Were you watching Ring of Honor this time?
I was not actually. I actually was completely out of Ring of Honor at that point because it was hard for me to really watch it.
Because I remember a lot of my friends talking about it, and where like the main event seems like Roddy, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, Tyler Black, Austin Aries, like those type of people. But then it was like they were more interested and more invested in the Steen and Generico stuff.
Right. Yeah, but the things that I have seen them put on, watching back on some of the footage, they were putting on some hell of matches, man. They really were. And knowing that they were such close friends and putting their bodies on the line the way they did in some of these matches, I could see why.
Yeah, you have to like they're like long gone or no longer friends. They're still going today.
I know. It's like a lifetime. Like here we are 15 years later almost, and they're still
we're destined to do this forever.
Forever. They will never get away from each other. I feel like if one of them were to leave, somehow the other one will end up following him.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because, look how fast when Sammy went to NXT, look how fast Kevin got called up like a year later.
Yeah, it works. It works. Their chemistry is forever intense. I couldn't find the right word for it. I got stuck there, but,
They will stay forever together, but still, it's like, it's better to keep them away from each other and have them do something better. Or, not saying all this stuff is, like okay, it's been phenomenal, but you got to do other things with other people.
Of course. You have to put distance in between them, but every time they do find themselves together in something, it's always going to be magic, Yeah, we know it's coming up. We know it's coming up now. They're going to have some sort of storyline together coming up now.
Because Sammy can't stay away from the bloodline. He can't help himself.
He loves the bloodline.
Next up, this week in wrestling history, December 19th in 1999. Oh, Jesus. WCW Starrcade took place at the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. Main event is most remembered as the match being that led to Bret Hart's career being ended. In the specific instance, Goldberg landed errant kick to Hart's head in the WCW Championship match that led to the severe concussion issues, forcing the Hitman to retire. Hart won the match by disqualification. That's actually, I don't know if that's true, because I remember also too that they did this weird screw job finish with Piper, where Hart put Goldberg in the sharpshooter and then he rang the bell. I think that's the same show, but and then also
could have been another one.
No, I think it's the same. I think it's the same show. But then also, Medusa became the first female WCW Cruiserweight champion by defeating Emma Courageous, and Benoit beating Jarrett in a ladder match to win the United States title. Yeah. But more importantly, the kick that ended Bret Hart's career. And to this day, Bret, regardless where he is, drinking a beer, smoking a blunt, whoever he's with that probably is not a wrestling fan, do you know that Bill's a reckless, bald asshole?
And I don't blame him one bit.
Oh, God.
He ended that man's career.
But can we agree, it wasn't intentional?
It wasn't intentional, but he was still reckless. He should have been he should have been more careful in the damn ring. Nobody will ever argue with you with that. That piece of shit should have been better in the ring. If he wasn't ready, he should have never been in the ring. He was injuring people left and right, whether it was intentional or not. He never should have been in that ring with Bret Hart. With anybody, for that matter.
I understand. I get it. He gets the reckless thing, and you know what? There's been moments where
he should have never been in the wrestling business, period.
But I also, this is just me, and we could agree or disagree, but that's just one of those unfortunate accidents, a clumsy thing that, looking back on, they should have better went over their match or said, you know what, let's not do that. But it's also...
And that's the thing they did. Bret told him.
But you're not going to also know the dude's going to kick me in the head by accident full force. And then
he was told, like, you got to be, you have to hold back the kick. You have to hold back your kicks, because he had that issue with kicking other people hard in the head in previous matches. And Bret told him, you need to learn how to hold back your kicks. And what did he do? Kick the shit out of him in the head. At that point, you start wondering, how unintentional is it really? That this is a constant habit of him kicking people in the head.
This is
causing injuries.
This just shows,
This
just shows how much Bret Hart and CM Punk are so alike, because they both look at two big.
Don't compare them, please. Don't compare them, please. Don't not compare those two, please.
Please hear me
Bret
out.
Can't shine. Punk can't shine Bret's boots. I'm sorry.
But please hear me out, because they both had instances where they had to talk to big bald men and pretty much ask them.
That's the close. That's it.
Are you reckless? Or are you dumb as fuck? Or are you just reckless?
Any wrestler with common sense would say that to someone. Like, dude, you have to be careful. You have to be more professional about it. You can't just go in the ring and act like this is a real street fight. Because when you hear people talk about how Bret wrestled, like there's that interview with Will Sasso where he had to have that spot with Bret, and he was like, it looked like he was kicking the shit out of me. He barely touched me with his foot. That's how careful he was.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, that's professionalism.
I really touched the nerve by saying Bret Hart and CM Punk have a line call.
Yes, you did. Like, that's one of the only things that I appreciate about Punk, though, is that he's a big Bret Hart fan.
Right.
That's it. Like, all right, you got good taste with that.
He's a big Bret Hart fan, but can't do a Macho Man. He can't do a Macho Man elbow to save his life. Next up, this one you really not might care about, but in 2012, the long-term publisher of WWE's video games, THQ, filed for bankruptcy. Take-Two would take over the WWE license and release their first title, WWE 2K13, the following year. I assume it's just WWE, because I know at the end of the day it was WWE 13, but yeah. For me, growing up, when me growing up, the game they went from like the SmackDown series to SmackDown versus Raw, where it was pretty much where they kept going up to 11, and then once they got to like 12 and 13, that's when they pretty much then called them WWE 12, 13, and then 2K gets involved.
Yeah, I remember those.
And to this day, we've had very mild highs and many lows with the 2K series, but
from what I've heard, yeah.
I mean, it's better than the AEW video game situation where I saw Tony Khan said that we're not releasing a new game, we're going to just add more characters as we go on. Which is like, I mean, if you think about it, like, to have all said people that have been in the company still in the game and then add new people, I mean, it's cool slightly, but it's also like, that just shows you have no money, because making a video game needs a lot of money to do it.
It does, and you have to have the right company behind it to create a smooth, seamless game. And I just don't think that's what they were able to do. And they probably have a contract with this damn company now, and they're stuck with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna blame Kenny Omega. I don't know, because he's the one that wants to do this video game so damn badly.
I know.
He's
such a geek. He is. I love him. I love Kenny. I love the fact that he's such a big video game anime.
I was about to ask, are you saying that respectfully, or are you just saying like what?
No, respectfully. Complete. Okay. Geeks. I'm a geek. Are you kidding?
We should have a video of you playing a video game. See what happens.
I haven't played a video game in years, because I used to play them all the time. Like in the 90s, I used to play the WWF games, and then in the in the early 2000s, and I used to play them with my late husband. We would play video games, create our own characters, and play the wrestling games together, and I loved it. And he wasn't a wrestling fan, but he did it for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Also this week, December 20th, December 20th, 2020, at WWE TLC, Randy Orton defeated The Fiend in a Firefly Inferno match. The Viper said the lifeless... Jay, you're being so lenient when you write this shit. The Viper set the lifeless body of The Fiend on fire in a shocking turn of events. That lifeless body was more real. I mean, it was the pandemic. It was the Thunderdome era. I do remember saying at the time I liked it just because how silly and stupid it was.
Yeah.
And just visually too, because you had no fans there, so you had these big poles of fire just surrounding the ring. But it's also like this is one of those things where in the Bray documentary he said like the outfit was ridiculous to get into and out of when it had it made, but I mean, I'm nervous to even say this, but is this the first case of murder in the WWE?
Maybe blatant? Well, I mean, we saw a lot of stuff happening with The Undertaker back in the day. People getting buried alive and, other people getting set on fire too. So I don't know if I was...
But it was more like he was in a casket or he was in an area where he was pretty much protected. This was...
I mean, he almost killed the Ultimate Warrior, remember?
Yeah, I mean, because Randy just doused this fucker with gasoline. And there was nothing protecting him at all. It was just... And we know it was like a dummy that he lit on fire, but it was just like, again, like the visual. It's like another man setting another man on fire.
And what's interesting is when they considering already, it's 2020, right? And at this point, they're trying to be as PG as possible because of how people are quick to, like I said earlier, cancel someone for being too violent or too gratuitous with whatever the case may be, and for them to have played this off, even like if it was a dummy, it was still the visual of a man burning another man alive, basically.
Right.
Like that they even attempted to do this. Maybe they figured, hey, pandemic era, we need to get as much eyes on our product as possible right now. But yeah, it was shocking. That's why a lot of people, when they had Jack Perry get lit on fire earlier this year, everybody went back to that.
Right.
Oh, but what about when Randy lit the Fiend on fire?
But the problem was that the Fiend wasn't moving. That was like the creepy part. Jack Perry was at least
running around.
He was running around. He's alive.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't dead.
And they went from this to like they do the WrestleMania thing. Bray then gets fired afterwards, which sucked. And then Randy's having this weird looking mustache team with Matt Riddle and doing a team RK Bro.
Yeah.
Like, I remember you killed somebody back in December, sir. I
now
will
you're
not
hanging
forget.
out with a pothead. All happy go lucky.
Making weed jokes on television every week.
Hilarious. But that was great. That fits Randy so well.
All right, next up, on December 22nd, 1997, just 6 days before their biggest pay-per-view in their history, WCW decided it would be a good idea to spend their first half an hour of Monday Nitro watching the NWO change the WCW set to an NWO-themed one. The experiment to see if the NWO could sustain their own program resulted in losing 25% of the audience in the first half of the show.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they tried. Like I said, it was an experiment. They wanted to see how it happened, and it failed.
Mm-hmm. Which is why you never saw the DX do that nonsense.
Oh, geez, can you imagine?
Like, imagine like a big DX logo, everything just green.
Yeah, everything's just green and black, and them just crotch chopping the whole time. Like, it's not gonna work. It's those things should only be segmented throughout the show.
I was gonna say DX would be the early version of TNA where they put the women out in the cages and just leave them on the stage like, you dance for these people.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Attitude Era.
Yeah, that was the Attitude Era. All right.
You want to take the last two?
Sure.
Oh, you're gonna love the next one.
On December 23rd, 2006, Ring of Honor's Final Battle event took place at the Manhattan Center in New York City. In the main event, Homicide defeated Bryan Danielson for the ROH World Championship to end the future Daniel Bryan's 15-month reign. I was so sad that I missed that match live. Because I had, I think, like I said, life was lifing and I had to stop going to shows. And I was like, damn, because that was Homicide's first win. And he was, he's a lovely friend of mine, and I didn't get the chance to see him become champion.
I believe his only world title reign?
I believe so.
I believe, because I know because once he did this, he was off in TNA 24/7.
Right.
Yeah. TNA X Division champion, tag team champion, but only one world title reign, which is interesting going back watching and seeing his progression where he pretty much had the Stone Cold thing of like anti-authority, like the authority figure doesn't want you as the world champion, but people want it, and the people got it.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that his career is winding down already at this point. We see it happening. And, he just had that match at GCW against Mance Warner, and I really thought he was going to win it. But he didn't.
I mean, not for nothing. Cool. The man has given a lot back to the wrestling business.
My God, has he not?
I mean, maybe a future guest episode.
I would love to have Homicide on the show. We should definitely do that. He would do it.
He talks to everybody on this network, but what's wrong with me?
Oh no, we got to get you on, yeah, because he's an amazing human being.
I got a lot of questions for the man they call Homicide.
So then, you know what? We're gonna make it happen. 2025, you're gonna have Homicide on this show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Don't give me Suicide. I don't want that one.
Oh my gosh, Suicide! Remember that?
And last but not, have this. You want to take this last one? Take this last one.
Yeah, you'll take it. I'll take it.
You.
All right. So
just off the first name alone.
I know, I see it already. And on December 23rd, 2010, Kaval, better known as Low Ki, was released from WWE just 6 months after making his televised debut. In that time, the first ever ROH champion won the second season of NXT and its original competition format, but then won only one televised match during his main roster run.
This was one of those interesting times where I wasn't privy to the internet going on, they'd be like looking up all this stuff or what's the roundup. So when I see Low Ki Senshi playing games on NXT, like ride the bull or drink soda the fastest, do like carry a keg around the ring,
so weird.
just with his like low tone voice and very serious looking, and then him cutting that rap promo. We say he's the only one that has total nonstop action, and then Mike called me and goes, "Wait, like you just lost your job, kid."
I mean, there was so much more to it than that. Obviously, we when you learn about who he is and how
an asshole he can be,
exactly.
And I say he can't be because there's still so many people that see a different side of this man, and
which is fine,
right?
Right?
It's like the CM Punk thing. CM Punk has his followers, and so does Mr. Kaval.
Right. He has, and obviously, I mean, I've seen a side of him that's disgusting. So, but I'll leave it at that. And none of this ever surprised me when I found out about his very brief run there. I'm like, well, of course. I mean, the guy has this inflated ego about himself. Number one.
I'm trying to think because one television, because I remember, I know what it was because he had a match with Dolph, and Dolph was Intercontinental Champion, and he beat him clean. It was like the go home show for Survivor Series, and Kaval had won. He won season 2 of NXT, which gave him a title shot of his choice. He did it on the IC belt, and he actually showed up on Survivor Series, and actually had a really good match with Dolph Ziggler. But that's Dolph Ziggler for you. Dolph Ziggler can work with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, we can't take away the fact that Low Ki is a fantastic wrestler.
Right.
He is.
I mean, how many times on our feeds have we seen him do that capo kick and knock that dude out?
Oh my God. It's horrible, though. It's horrible.
It's insane.
That's horrible. That's the only issue is the fact that he, like it's like a Goldberg situation. It's like, dude, relax. You don't have to actually take someone's head off. Come on. Shit. But...
Can you imagine Goldberg, like a bigger Goldberg, like doing that move? Oh my God!
Oh my God! Yeah, but with him, it is what it is. He is who he is.
Definitely left his mark in the business, and it's not saying he's retired or anything, but I haven't seen him in a year.
At least a year, I haven't seen him. I think the last show I saw him booked on was that. When he wrestled Vikingo, Hijo de Vikingo. I wasn't at that show. I was out of town. But that's the last I've seen of him booked on a show. I haven't seen his name pop up on a card ever again.
I think I remember that match. That was actually a good match. But
yeah, I heard it was a good match, Which I wasn't surprised.
But that just shows you that despite in-ring ability, it doesn't change who you are outside the ring. Because
right.
Because you could be the biggest asshole in the ring, but the nicest person you ever met in your life outside of it.
Or just the opposite. Like in his case.
Yeah.
You could be a fantastic worker in the ring, but then outside the ring, you're just not a good human being.
Mm-hmm.
With this gigantic chip on his shoulder for some reason. I don't understand.
Where's Hulk Hogan to ruin his reign? That's a moment where Hulk Hogan should have been saving Xavier in Ring of Honor and be like, "Wait, you want me to beat that little midget?"
Oh my God! See now, Xavier, man, and that's the one, man.
Do it for the Hulkamaniacs, brother. Beat up Caval.
Keep beat him up. No, but for real, like mentioning Xavier, that breaks my heart.
Yeah,
he had it.
That's one of those guys that I missed out on.
He's such a great worker. Cut a decent promo, had a phenomenal look. Really great guy outside the ring, and I just don't understand why he just never made it further than he did. I don't get it.
Wrestling politics, sorry.
I guess so, and it's like I don't get it. Such a good guy. He deserved it. He was one of the ones that truly deserved it, and never got it. And then, unfortunately, when he was trying to come back, he passed away.
It's such a shame. And this is just a sad way to end the episode, but it is just it's important to say, especially around this time with the holidays, always hug a loved one, tell them that you care about them, because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh my God, absolutely, 100%.
I think with the year everybody's been having, I think it's time for 2025 to be here.
God,
enough of 2024.
Yeah, 2024 has overstayed its welcome. It's a long time ago. I'm glad it's ending, and I'm hoping 2025 brings in a lot of light and love and success for everyone. Good health. And
I will say the best thing about 2024, and you could be in agreement with this channel, Wrestling Media, being a thing where you have two goofballs like us talk about wrestling.
Absolutely.
You also have the third announcers table that do their own crazy goofball shenanigans. And it's all thanks to the man behind it all, Jay Santee, who Turnbuckle Tabloid. You can subscribe over there as well, because we're also over there plenty of times. She gets invited, I just barge in. I think it's sexist of him to do that at this point for the amount of years I've known him for, but I get it. He wants a New Year's kiss, and we know how Ari feels about kissing.
Listen.
Well, I'm going to get a beating after this, but that wraps up this episode. Happy New Year, everybody. In the new year, we're going to do a Royal Rumble episode, and poll is still up for you people to determine, which wrestler we're going to be covering. It's either Mickie James, Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson, or AJ Styles. Go
on, guys,
to Instagram for that one, and we'll also be posting on the Facebook group Turnbuckle Tabloid for more results. So make sure you do that. Like I said, Happy New Year from all of us here.
Merry Christmas.
And Nick Wrestling Media, and stay safe, everybody.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.